Hey guys, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. If you're new here, my name is Lauren and I am a full-time kindergarten teacher, and I also flip furniture on the side in order to pay off my student loan debt using the profits that I earn from flipping that furniture. I just want to take a minute and say thank you to my subscribers. If you have subscribed over the past 2 months that we have been putting out videos, thank you. We hit 5,000 a little bit earlier last week, and now we are even over 6,000 subscribers. We're just humbled and thankful for the growth of our channel. We could not do this without you guys. This week, I am going to be reviewing the flips that I did in January, and I'm going to show you guys the profits that I made and how much money that I am going to be able to put toward my student loan debt. So stick around till the end to find out the profit that I made this month, as well as to get entered into a giveaway that we are really excited that we have the opportunity to provide you guys with. So let's get started. For furniture piece number 1 of the month of January, I got a dresser for free from a family friend. We loaded it up and I got to work. The first thing I did was remove all the hardware from the drawers. I always be sure to keep the hardware in one spot so that way I don't lose it. Then I took a piece of sandpaper and I did a scuff sand over the entire dresser just to make sure the paint would adhere better. After that, I took my washcloth and some cleaner and I made sure to clean off all the dirt and dust that was inside and outside of the dresser. Next, I primed the entire piece using gray primer, and I primed this piece so that none of the wood color would pop through when I used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I used the linen white chalk paint for the entire piece, and it took 2 coats. After I painted, I distressed lightly through the whole dresser and giving it some character. And then I gave it a top coat with the same Rust-Oleum matte clear. Then I reapplied the hardware and put the drawers back in the dresser. I staged the piece to make sure that people would be able to imagine it in their home before buying it. Then I took photos and I put it on Facebook Marketplace for $225. That same day, someone came and picked it up for the full price of $225. And after getting it for free, that was a profit of $225 that I was able to put straight toward my student loan debt. For furniture pieces number 2 and 3 in the month of January, the same people that picked up that farmhouse dresser ended up wanting me to do a commission piece for them. So they dropped off their dresser with mirror and a nightstand for me to paint for them. They wanted it to be a custom color of cream. Next, I cleaned the whole dresser and the nightstand to make sure the paint would be able to adhere. I took the pieces outside and sanded down the tops. The bigger dresser took a little bit more sanding because there were more scratches and gouges in the top, and I wanted to get rid of those before painting. There were a few deeper gouges throughout the dresser and the nightstand, so I took my wood filler and I was able to fill those holes. I removed some more hardware from the top of the dresser, and then I got to priming. Again, I used the gray primer so that the wood color would not pop through when I applied the cream color paint. I mixed 2 paints to get the right color for this custom piece. I used Annie Sloan chalk paint in the color Original and Waverly chalk paint from Walmart in the color Cashew. After mixing these 2 together, I found the perfect color cream and applied 2 coats to the entire dresser, mirror, and nightstand. This was able to make them all look cohesive. Then I distressed the piece very lightly and I used my wax brush to apply a top coat wax from Annie Sloan. After using my wax brush, I went back with a lint-free cloth and wiped away any excess wax. The customer wanted the piece to have some dark undertones popping through. So next, I took Annie Sloan's dark wax and put it on top of the clear wax. I wiped away the dark wax until I got a look I was wanting. This allowed it to have more of an antique look, and after reassembling the dressers and the nightstand, I was able to take some photos and wait for her to come check it out. When she saw it, she was absolutely thrilled with the way that the dresser and nightstand turned out. This piece was a little different because it was a commission piece. so I had to factor in labor costs and material costs. I charged her $375 for the 2 pieces, and I used $100 of that for my materials. So I came away with a profit of $275 after only spending 6 hours and 45 minutes on the piece. And that went straight toward my student loan debt. For furniture piece number 4 of the month of January, I was going to flip this burnt orange swivel rocker. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace for $20 and it was delivered. Later, I found out that it was in excellent shape. It was a custom made piece from the Mastercraft of Omaha, especially made for Edna. I got right to work on ripping off the skirt of the bottom of the chair. This one gave me a bit of trouble, but using some muscles and a little bit of time, I finally got all of the skirt and remnants ripped off the bottom. I used my Bissell vacuum and upholstery cleaner to clean the entire chair. I made sure to get all of the nooks and crannies. Then I staged the chair and I took photos in order to post to Facebook Marketplace for sale. Then someone came and picked it up to put it in their nursery. I posted it on Facebook Marketplace for $150, and after paying $20 for it, that means I got a profit of $130 to put straight toward my student loan debt. For furniture flip number 5 of the month of January, I took this vintage dresser with a mirror and gave it the love it needed. I found this place on Facebook Marketplace for $50 in a town that was a couple hours away. My parents were near the town at the time, so they brought it home for me and I got right to work with cleaning. Then I removed all of the hardware, of which some was salvageable and some was not going to be able to be used again. Then I went around the top of the piece and used some stainable wood filler since my plan was to stain the top. I also had to use some Plastic X wood filler to fix some of the damage on a few of the drawers where the veneer had been popping off. This was one of my first times fixing damage like this, but it turned out great in the end. I moved outside and I got to sanding off the top layer of varnish because I was going to be staining it. Back inside the garage, I took my Bin Zinsser primer and applied it to the whole piece. This is a shellac-based primer which helped me make sure that none of the dark brown color would pop through the white paint. I taped off the mirror and I also primed that. I then took my paint from the Chippy Barn in the color of Magnolia and gave the dresser 2 coats for full coverage. I started on the top with sun-bleached stain, but that ended up being too light of a color, so I switched over to dark walnut for the top. It really made the veneer design pop. I applied the top coat from the Chippy Barn using my foam brush, and then I spray painted the hardware with Rust-Oleum metallic black. Once that was dry, I reattached it to the drawers and reassembled the dresser. I staged the piece and posted it on Facebook Marketplace for $350. I was a little bit impatient on this flip, as you guys know, and so I ended up coming away with a total of $275 that the customer paid. After paying $50 for the piece originally, that means that I got a profit of $225 plus a little bit of a lesson for more patience for myself. And that $225 is going straight toward my student loan debt. For furniture flips number 6, 7, and 8 of the month of January, I took this free dresser and $20 nightstands and made them into a set. The first step was to sand down the tops in order to get any imperfections smoothed out. There were some deeper gouges in the large dresser, so I made sure to fill those with wood filler. I had a little bit of trouble getting some sticky residue off of one of the nightstands, but I finally had Goo Gone come to the rescue and get it off. Then I cleaned the pieces thoroughly to make sure to get all of the dust and dirt off. I removed the hardware and filled the holes since I was going to be using hardware that needed 2 screw holes instead of just 1. I headed outside to spray paint the hardware that I was planning on using, and since the screws were for the front, they had to also be spray painted. I again used my Zinsser Bin primer to put a base coat on all 3 pieces to again ensure that I would not be seeing the dark brown popping through. I then took my Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white to cover the base and the drawers of the dresser and nightstands. This took 2 coats for full coverage. Then I switched over to Rust-Oleum chalked paint's Age Gray for the tops of the dresser and nightstands. I used the smoked glaze from Rust-Oleum to give it a unique look on the tops over the gray. I lightly distressed all 3 pieces and then put the top coat from Rust-Oleum in a matte clear finish over the top. Since I was replacing the hardware, I made sure to measure to make sure they were in the middle, and so I screwed the hardware on. Then it was time for staging and photos so that I could post onto Facebook Marketplace. After being a little bit more patient than I was in the last flip, I waited it out and I got my full $400 asking price. After spending $20 on the nightstands, about $20 in materials, and having the free dresser, that means that I came away with a profit of $360. And that's going to go straight to my student loan debt as well. For furniture flip number 9 of the month of January, I flipped this seafoam green swivel rocker. I found this chair at a thrift store for $10. These are some of my favorite flips because of how easy they can be. I again started by prying off the skirt and ripping all the way around. This one was a little different, and I kept the seam from the top of the skirt to hide where it had been connected. I reattached some of the parts with my stapler, and then I made sure to remove all of the remnants of the skirt. I grabbed my Bissell vacuum and upholstery cleaner, sprayed it down, and got to cleaning. I made sure to get all of the crevices and also clean the cushion. Then it was time for staging, and I made sure to stage it so that someone could imagine it in their own home. After having the chair on Facebook Marketplace for only a couple of hours, I ended up getting my full asking price of $160. So after paying $10 for it, that is a pure profit of $150. For furniture flip number 10 of the month of January, I found another velvet chair. After negotiating the price down to $10, I brought it home and I got started. This one was a little bit different than the others because instead of a swivel rocker, it had legs. I ripped off the skirt from the bottom of the chair, and this one was one of the easiest skirt to rip off that I have came across so far. Next, I grabbed my Bissell vacuum and upholstery cleaner, sprayed it with water and cleaning solution, and then went over the whole thing to suck out all of the dirt and dust. I always make sure to deep clean these chairs to make sure that they will be clean and ready for their next home. I staged for photos and made sure to point out any imperfections that were evident when I posted it on Facebook Marketplace. I posted this one for $195 because I truly wouldn't have minded keeping this one for myself. But after waiting a few days, I did get my full asking price of $195, and after paying $10 originally, that's a profit of $185 going straight toward my student loan debt. For furniture flip number 11 and 12 of January, we did a little more negotiating at the same thrift store. I ended up getting these old red chairs for $10 together. I had a vision for the chairs that I was ready to carry out. On the bottoms, there were gold wheels that were all broken and beat up, and I knew I would have to replace those with something more trendy to bring these chairs back to life. I headed to Menards and picked up some mid-century furniture legs for $35. Once I got home, I stained the wooden part with dark walnut stain, and I spray painted the silver parts with gold spray paint. While those were drying, I removed the gold wheels and cut back any excess fabric. Then I filled my Bissell vacuum and upholstery cleaner with a little bit of cleaning solution and got straight to work on vacuuming, always making sure to get into the cracks. It was time to get ready to put the legs on. I had to screw on the brackets and then screw the legs in. After getting all 4 legs on one chair, we noticed that it was a little bit wobbly. So with the help of my dad, we added 1 shim to the corner, and that fixed the problem. He even tested them out for me. Ride 'em, cowboy. I put the chairs back together and staged them for photos and posted them on Facebook Marketplace for $225. After waiting only 40 minutes, I sold the chairs and I had a deposit in my Venmo account. That was one of the quickest sales that I have ever had in my furniture flipping journey. I paid $10 for the pair of chairs, plus the $35 for the legs, which brings me to a total of $45 for costs and materials. Since I sold the chairs for $225, that is a straight profit of $180 going straight toward my student loan debt. For furniture flip number 13 of the month of January, I got this free vanity from my brother and sister-in-law. It was a bit outdated, so I was ready to get to work. I used Annie Sloan chalk paint in the color of Original. I started by taking off the mirror and the hardware, and then I filled the holes in the drawer so that I could replace the hardware using just one screw. I detached the cushion from the bottom of the bench, and I tightened it to make sure it wouldn't wobble. I cleaned the vanity with Dawn dish soap and warm water, and then I covered the mirror with paper and painter's tape. The wood filler was dry, so I sanded it down to make it smooth, and I got ready to paint. The whole vanity needed a total of 3 coats of paint. I decided not to use a primer on this piece because using Annie Sloan chalk paint, you don't need to. I went outside and bared the cold to spray paint the hardware black. I wanted to make it pop against the warm white color. Since the fabric for the bench was a little bit outdated, I went to Walmart and I got some black material to cover the bench. I measured and cut using my staple gun to attach the material over the cushion. Then I made a new hole in the drawer for the new hardware piece. I took my hand sander over the whole vanity to distress it just a bit. I put the top coat over the whole vanity and bench using Annie Sloan's clear wax. This will make sure that it is protected from any future wear and tear. I reattached the cushion to the bottom of the bench, and I put some wallpaper lining in the drawer. I put the mirror back on as well as the new hardware, and I put it on my staging wall to get ready for photos. I posted this on Facebook Marketplace for $175, and after not getting many hits for a couple of weeks, I lowered it to $75. That was a big drop, but honestly, I was just ready to get rid of it, and I ended up selling it for that price. After getting the vanity for free and the material cost of $10 to cover the bench, I ended up coming away with $65 profit on this vanity, and that is going straight toward my student loan debt. Wow, what a month January was. Flipping 13 pieces of furniture, and that is really on pace to meet my goal of flipping 125 pieces of furniture for the whole year. So along with that goal, I have a goal of paying off my student loan debt, as most of you know. So originally I started out with $25,400 on my student loan debt that I had to pay. Before I got into furniture flipping, I used some of my own money that I earned from teaching to pay that down a little bit, and I got to $22,150. So at the end of 2020, I was able to put $3,150 toward my student loan debt from flipping furniture. Then in January, after flipping these 13 pieces of furniture, I brought in a total revenue of $1,900. With expenses such as the cost of the paint and the materials, as well as buying the furniture that I am flipping, I spent about $287. So that means that my total profit for January of 2021 is $1,613. So not only did I earn $1,600 from furniture flipping, but I'm super excited to show you guys the amount of ad revenue that I also got from YouTube, thanks to you guys watching my videos and continuing to engage and subscribe. After being able to monetize on January 4th, we have earned $1,100 from the YouTube ad revenue. So that $1,100 plus the $1,600 that I earned from furniture flipping gives us a total for January of $2,700 that I am able to put straight toward my student loan debt. From the $19,000 that I started 2021 with, I am now down to $16,300. And as you can see, February is already shaping up to be an awesome month. I have tons of pieces of furniture that are calling my name. But before I get started on this furniture in my garage, I want to get you guys ready for our giveaway. As a way to show appreciation to those of you who support my channel, we are going to be doing a giveaway. We have also had Dixie Belle Paint Company reach out to us and want to join the movement. They love what we are doing here and they are ready to support teachers and flippers. So we have partnered with them and they are going to be providing 5 gift cards for $50 each for one of you to win. So again, I just want to thank you guys so much for being subscribed to my channel. We hit 5,000 and now we are up to 6,500 subscribers and it can't be done without you guys. So in order to get entered into this giveaway, you're gonna find the directions down in the description box, but basically you have to subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Dixie Belle's channel, like this video, and also comment down below on which January flip was your favorite that I did in this month. This giveaway contest starts today, February 1st, 2021, and will end on February 6th of 2021. And you will be notified on February 6th, and we will pin the comment at the top of the person who wins. So be sure to get entered into that giveaway. Thank you so much for watching. Please get subscribed down below if you are interested in seeing the rest of my journey paying off my student loan debt. Let's see how the month of February is gonna go. I am super excited to get working on all of this furniture, and I'll see you on the flip side.